everyone. Right. Let us look at the current numbers of students that already here in this platform. Okay. So basically we're having, not everyone here yet. Not everyone here yet, right? Okay, if you all still recall, last week we had learned about wireless infrastructure devices, correct? We had learned about different wireless infrastructure devices, okay? So while waiting for more numbers of students to join us today, maybe any one of you can just mention what are the wireless infrastructure devices that we had learned last week. Maybe you can just type, yeah? Or you just can say through your mic, no problem, but please raise your hand first, yeah, so that I know who actually I'm communicate with, right? Or if you hardly, okay, Yi Jingjiang. Right, Yi Jingjiang, please, what is it, the wireless? Hello?
We learned the wireless switch, wireless repeater, wireless router,
Yes.
and wireless and the access point.
Yes, very good. Okay, thank you, Jingjiang. Very good. Okay, correct, yeah, Jingjiang. So you can see that we have wireless repeater, wireless switches, wireless router, right? And then we also have access point, correct? So anyone can tell me what are different type of access point that we had learned last week? What are different type of access point that we had learned last week? Anyone? Please raise up your hand. You can use raise hand features, or you can just type in the meeting chat if you know what are different type of access point we had learned last week. Yes, thank you very much. Abdurrahman is Mesh, yeah, Mesh, M-E-S-H. Jin Yong, thank you very much. Autonomous, yes. Chihing, autonomous and lightweight, very good. Jinjiang, lightweight, yes, very good. Ving Kong, autonomous, lightweight, and Mesh. All right. So that's the complete answer, right? If you want to see the complete answer, you can refer to Ving Kong answer, Chong Ving Kong answer. He had provided autonomous, lightweight, and mesh access point, right? And I hope you all still recall the difference of these access point. So what do you think? Did you make research? Did you research different type of access point? Or did you research the access point available at your home? Anyone? Can anyone tell me if the one that you use at home for Unify user, if you are using Unify user, anyone, you have this mesh point, right, to be connected with your wireless router. If I'm not mistaken, the package of 500 megabit per second, they provided the mesh access point for free, correct or not? Yes or no? Anyone can tell me, right? Okay, whatever it is, I hope you all still recall the difference between autonomous, lightweight, and mesh access point. Autonomous is if you want to configure, you need to configure it manually. All right, manually configured. That's why it's hardly to be in the market nowadays. Yeah, because it's already fact intelligence kind of access point. Means what mean by fact intelligence kind of access point? It had been provided earlier by the manufacturer, right? Then if you want to configure it, you need to manually configure it, right? And another thing about another thing about autonomous access point in terms of capability to control and to provide connections to other devices, it is not having that kind of features compared to if we have lightweight access point. So lightweight access point is a smart in terms of only, is not intelligent as autonomous because it's not fully configured by manufacturer, and that's the reason why it have more customization, involvement, by users like us if we want to configure it, right, for our usage in terms of to monitor or to control our networks. And finally, mesh access point is actually the same version with lightweight access point. It's similar to lightweight, means it's using many lightweight access point, right? It's using many lightweight access point, but it's connected together. That's why we can see it extendable, right? Okay, so in order for me to see either you all actually able to understand, right? Able to understand what you had learned last week, all right? Let me just share with you the quizzes platform, all right? I hope you still remember last week, not last week, in week number 1, all right, we had learned about review core concept, and I had shared with you the quizzes platform, right? It's a multiple choice type of platform, just like Kahoot, but you can do it at your own pace, right? So hold on, yeah. I share with you the link. All right, just a while. I will, what we call this, I will copy paste the link. I can't recall how many questions because I do not want to directly go to RF fundamental chapters, all right? Without evaluate your knowledge related to wireless infrastructure. Okay, we have how many questions? 20 questions. Right, 20 question. So roughly I'm giving you, is it okay, 20 minutes? 20 minutes or how? Because it's objective question. I copy the link. All right, this is the link. Okay, quizzes link. Okay, I'm going to provide you the code. All right, the code. All right, hold on, I enter it first. The code to join. Hold on. The code to join. All right, this is the code to join. Okay. All right. You can join it, no issue. You can use your own name. If you don't feel happy to use your name, no problem. You can use any nickname, right? Because this activity, yeah, as long as your nickname sounds, what we call it, sounds menace. You got what I mean? Sounds menace, yeah? And then another thing about this activity, no worries. I'm not going to record everything in terms of to take down your marks. No, my intention, I just want to see how many of you actually can get most of the questions correct, right? So now at my time it's 10:55, so 11:05 and 11:15. So at 11:15 a.m. we will discuss. I will stop the session. I will stop the quizzes live. All right? Okay, I will start it now, yeah? No worries, if you start late, no worries, yeah? It's okay. All right, hold on. Okay, we just quickly go through the details of the answer. So how is it? Is it tough? Right, I need to switch my network. I think because when I change room, hold on. Okay, it's been switched. All right. Okay, where am I just now? Yeah, the results. So how is it for that 20 questions? Do you have any question? Do you have any questions to ours or any issue related to the question? All right.
Excuse me, Miss.
Yes.
I think some of the questions are not mentioned in our class.
Oh, not being learned. All right, no problem. Let us go through it later. Okay, hold on. We will go through the question one by one. Then you may say either you had learned it or not, right? So is it this the one? Yes, 24 minutes. Okay, let me just go through the question. All right, overview. Hold on now. Oh, this is. Okay. All right, so we go through one by one. The good thing about this quizzes platform, I really like, you all can see the screen, right? The questions, everything, right? You all can see, right?
Yes, Miss.
All right. Okay, class. Since I'm actually changing to different venue, right? And the connections is actually, I'm worried it might actually will be lagging or what. All right. Okay. I will just mute my camera. All right. I will just mute my camera. Is it okay? All right. I don't think so. It is important for me to on the camera while we discuss. Okay. Later I on again. All right. So where am I just now? Yeah. All right. So when you change the venue, all right, sometimes you need to switch to different frequency of the internet usage. All right. So where am I? Where am I? Yeah, the question. All right. So you can see the screen, right? So for the first question, you can see that most of you actually able to answer the correct answer. All right. You can see like this one. Yes, we learned about the wireless repeater. Okay, and if you look at the answer, which of the following benefits, of course, the largest cell size allows for more devices. Why we want to have a more devices? Because it's actually strengthen the signal. So you should avoid smaller cell size allow. This one is not logic, yeah. And then less data throughput. This is not the answer. This is, if you look at lower, smaller, less, all of this is not benefits. It's more on disadvantages, right? Only this one sounds positive or sounds benefits. All right. Okay, next one. Number 2, access point requires wireless access point configurations and firmware. Okay, when we talk about manage configuration, manage means you have control. The word manage means you have control, all right? So when we talk about wireless controller, so you can see it can be controlled. Of course, it relates to lightweight. Yeah, lightweight. I'm just worried if you look at firmware, you think about manufacturer, automatically you answer autonomous. No, it should be lightweight, right? So majority of you got it right. Next one, number 3. Which one of the unique hardware identifier of a network devices? All right, this one maybe some of you might think, we never learned about this, but this one is actually we actually took from the basic of network. Basic of network, when we talk about hardware identifier, is referring to MAC address, right? NIC. That's why the answer is physical address. Okay, physical address. All right, if logical address is IP address, yeah, network address that is related to network layer, port address. This one is actually, I've just purposely asked because it's related to the infrastructure as well as the basic network. Right, number 4, FAT. The word FAT access point you already know is autonomous, right? I did mention earlier if FAT access point is autonomous. Okay, all right. Because it actually can work independently. Why it can work independently? Because it had been fully configured by the manufacturer or vendor. Next one, question number 5, Holona. If you've got question, please ask. Yes, MAC address, Jinjang, correct. You're right. Okay, question number 5, wireless LAN function at which of the following layers of OSI model? Right, when we talk about wireless LAN, wireless local area network, right? Of course, it deals with bit signals. That's why layer 1. And then, of course, it deals with, you know, when we talk about wireless, we have this what we call this switch capability as well. Am I right? That's the reason why the answer is also layer 2, because it's involved access method. That's why its answer is layer 2 as well. You cannot answer layer 3 because when we talk about layer 3, it's not specifically for LAN. You know, it goes for remote network, right? So be careful. Unless if we talk about router itself, then it's different story. All right, number 6, a self-contained intelligent. Self-contained. Self means it's not going to be control, right? That's why the answer is autonomous. Autonomous. You have to understand self-contained intelligent. As I said, autonomous is intelligent because it already been provided with what being necessary there. That's why when you configure it, it need to be configured manually. Number 7, SOHO access point have which? Right, SOHO. When we talk about SOHO, either is autonomous or lightweight. Of course, it allowed WPA2, static output power, Wi-Fi certification. CLI is not important. When we talk about SOHO, CLI configuration is not important. Unless if you go for larger organization, then we really allow the configuration. You know, CLI, I'm talking about CLI, not GUI, yeah? Right? Number 8, true or false, benefit of wireless LAN is distributed administration. Distributed. Of course, it's false. Controller switch is centralized, la class. Switch, control, centralized, not distributed. Be careful, all right? Some of you is already tracked here. You see the word admin, you already said correct. And yet, the keyword here is distributed. Be careful, it should be centralized, all right? Okay, proceed. Next one, which layer of the OSI model is responsible for delivering data to a unique hardware address? Unique hardware, is it MAC address, right? MAC address, that's why layer 2. Very good, most of you got it right. Question number 10, SOHO access point are typically configured by using, configured, of course, not CLI, if enterprise, yes. We normally just configured, right, only on the HTTP, on the HTTPS, on a server side, yeah, normally configured on the server side. Yeah, that's why the answer is these 2. I know this one is a little bit confusing, right? But if you look the word SOHO, you will avoid CLI, you will avoid SMTP, because these 2 is very critical to be configured on a very smaller scale. Only this HTTP and HTTPS can be configured at a smaller scale. All right, true or false, administrator should always configure access point from the wireless network. Of course, it's false. Please, always, no such thing, right? You cannot keep changing your configuration. If you want to change it, there must be a certain route, a certain schedule. Even maintenance also we have certain schedule. So the keyword here always, please, it's false. You cannot always configure, right? Normally when you just buy switch, you just buy router, then you configure it, and then you have a maintenance only at the scheduled time, not always. Be careful, quite tricky, this question. And then, which of the following statements is true regarding wireless controller and switch? Of course, the answer is this. Virtual VLAN involve logical. The word VLAN, when you look at switch, right? We already learned switch in basic network, right? Switch is not physical. Physical if it's involved virtual. Virtual itself sounds logical. So that's why you cannot answer physical here. And you cannot answer repeater for VLAN because VLAN is more on switch, right? So if you already understand basic network, A and C is totally out. Left B and D. When you look at B and D, B Ethernet, power over Ethernet is normally for wired. Now we're talking about wireless, so that's why D is more accurate for this reason. So actually, if you look at this, you hardly to find in our lecture slide, right? Because our expectation is we want you to research more, learn more, right? So, but then if you never learn, if you never research, if you never read additional material, you look at this question, you can answer it based on your logic, based on your strong fundamentals of network, right? Question number 13, standard of Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is actually, I just want to know, is it everyone knows the full name of Wi-Fi? Because everyone keeps saying, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi lah, Wi-Fi, what is it? It is actually wireless fidelity. So from the result here, you can see that, some of you is not sure, what is the full name of Wi-Fi. Right, question number 14. Which device allow users to connect to the network using a single or double radio wave? What means by single or double radio wave? It means that wireless. Either you are using 2.4 or you want to use 5 gigahertz, for example, double up the frequency, right? We want to know which device is actually to deal with this wireless. Of course, access point, right? Access point. Question 15, two statements about wireless controller. Wireless controller, it means that wireless switch. All right, the first one, we read one by one. They can manage mobility policies at system-wide level. Okay, if you're not sure, you don't answer it yet. They are best suited for smaller wireless network. This one sounds weird. And yet, if we want to have controller, you want to have more user, right? So B totally out. C, they must be configured through a GUI over HTTP. Must be configured. Is it we configured switch for HTTP and HTTPS? No, right? We configured this for server, right? So this one also totally out. B and C totally out. So left A and D, right? That's why we answer A and D, the answer. And the last one, they can simplify the management and deployment. Simplified management, yes. Simplified, right? And deployment. We want to have manage. We want to manage over the wireless LAN using this device. That's why we have this as one of the answer. Question 16, which two statements about access point are true? All right, you read one by one and eliminate the answer. They can provide access within enterprises and to the public. This one sounds router, right? This one sounds router because go to public, different network, so remote network. So this one A totally out. B, they can protect a network. Protect, access point is not protecting. If not, it's enough for us to use access point, right? Right? No, it's not protecting. That's why we still need to have a wireless security to be provided. Not only rely on access point. So B is out. Most of access point provide Wi-Fi. Yes, we can go for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity through access point because it's a lot radio wave, right? So C, it sounds logic. ND, in most cases, they are physically connected to other. Yes, it must be physically connected to other network devices. Yeah, you don't tell me it's 100% wireless. So that's why C and D is the most accurate answer. Question 17, which of the following event not possible in wireless LAN? Of course, collision detection, because in wireless LAN is collision avoidance. This one also basic, basic. I just want to see your knowledge. You still remember or not? If wireless is CSMA-CA with CD or CSMA-CA with CA. This one tests your basic. And luckily, yeah, we got 31 students able to answer it. And last question, right? This one, if you don't know, so you look at the answer. Connection to wired networks, possible. Still we can have. Acknowledgement, must, we still need to have acknowledgement. Multi-mode, of course, if we are using wireless access point to be connected, yeah, with fiber optic, we allow MIMO, right? So that's why this one is the one logically is not correct. Not possible. And then what devices in wireless equivalent to wired hub? Wireless, we have wired hub, so equivalent to what? Of course, it access point. You cannot answer bridge because hub is not connecting one LAN to another LAN, right? Right. And then because access point we connect to the same domain, domain, yeah. If it go to different domain, if go further from your access point, that's why we need another access point, same concept like hub. All right. If antenna is the accessory, right? Accessory to be included. We don't call it as device, right? In IEEE 802.1, the access method uses, of course, CSMA-CA. Actually, oh my God, this one I should, sorry class, this one, oh my God, it should be 802.11. 11. My mistake. No wonder some of you answered CSMA-CT because you thought it's Ethernet. Alright, if Ethernet 802.3 actually. Alright, so this one is actually typo. No one asked me. Number 19 is typo. It should be 802.11. Sorry, my mistake, class. And the last question, which of the following is the type of connection media? It should be connection, type of connection, type of connection. It can be wired or wireless. That's why the answer is wireless. If you answer file server, router, firewall, that is all devices. Okay. All right. That's about it for our activity today. Let me just switch to our lecture slide. Any question? Any question? Miss, about question 14. Doesn't wireless switch have two-wave? Question number 14. Hold on, Jinjang. Question number 14. 14. Question number 14. 14. Which devices allow users single or double? Single or double. That's why I said just now, yes, we can have 2.4 gigahertz and also 5 gigahertz, right? All right. When we connect to access point, you want to go for which? 2.4 and 5, right? That's why I mentioned single or double, because if you see 2.4, you double up, it's almost 5 as well. All right. Don't look at this actually single or double. Actually, when you look, allow user to connect to the network using radio wave, that is already wireless. Okay. All right. Hold on, class. You have any question? Please ask. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, we will continue our lecture. I just need to inform my. Okay. Hold on, just a while. So we will start our chapter 3 in a chapter 3, right? Chapter 3 in a short while. Just give me 1 minute, right? All right, class. So shall we continue with our lecture? All right, you all can see my screen, yeah? Okay, before I proceed, let me share one document with you. Hold on. This one is the link. Hold on, let me just transfer into the meeting chat. Okay. Is it there? Not yet. No. Okay, done. All right, class. Let me just type what is it. Useful. Related to chapter. Okay, while it's uploading, okay, class, what is it? Actually, I had shared one useful link. Sorry, not one useful link. One document consists 7 different links, yeah, related to YouTube. Yeah, related to YouTube links, right? For some of you to gain better understanding about radio frequency fundamental chapters, right? And I think some of you might realize that, you know, sometimes when you learn from lecturer, even you learn from any of your friends, you hardly to understand what is it actually try to tell us, right? So that's the reason why I'm actually providing you the link. I'm actually providing you the link for YouTube, yeah, in order for you to understand better about what is spectrum, what is when this lecturer talks about capacity, you know, wireless LAN capacity, coverage, and then when this lecturer mentioned about antenna, you know, the polarization and etc. I want to have a better understanding, right? That's why we link you to these YouTube links, useful links document, so that you can have an interactive or better view or, you know, understanding about what we're going to learn today. Hold on, just a while, let the lorry pass by first. Okay. All right, so we proceed, yeah. Okay, so radio frequency fundamentals for wireless LAN, right? Hold on. Stack one color. Hold on. Okay, done. All right. So let us go through. These are the topics that we're going to learn today. So you can see that. Oh my God, why this one cannot move? Mana? This one. I'm not sure why this one cannot move. Wow. slide. Okay, all right, done. So you can see the slide. Right, so these are the topic that we're going to learn today. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these topics, when you look at overall, it will be very important for your assignment. When is it I'm going to release your assignment? This Friday during tutorial time, I will talk specifically only for your introduction of your assignment, during that 1 hour time. So what we're going to learn today, we will look at the fundamentals first. What is it means by radio frequency fundamental, all right, what it means by radio frequency fundamental, then followed with frequency use, but I believe you already know, right? It is 2.4 and another one is 5 gigahertz, correct? All right, and then basic unit of radio frequency measurement. This one I just want you to understand, we have something like what we call as decibel. Why actually we look at these topics is because of when I want you to research later on related to your assignment, I want you to understand that different devices is actually having different measurement of decibels, means it's relate to the power voltage of the use of the devices, followed with radio frequency range. This one normally we want to see how actually the capability in terms of wireless coverage, and how is it actually can be support with different numbers of user. And this fits again backs to the frequency just now, that is 2.4 and gigahertz. And finally, we will see different radio frequency behavior. All right, different radio frequency behavior in terms of how different materials around you. For example, your house having so many pillars, your house is actually built up of glasses, the materials of your whole brick and walls, right? This stuff is actually affect the radio frequency. All right, okay. So at the end of the day, what you're going to learn in this topic, you will apply it into your assignment. And not only that, the fundamental is very important for you to understand the wireless technology that we're going to learn after chapter number 5. For example, we're going to learn about WiMAX. We're going to learn about Wi-Fi in details. We're also going to learn about Li-Fi, light fidelity. We're also going to learn about what we call this NFC, near field communication, RFID, and then we also learn about wireless IoT kind of standards such as Zigbee, Z-Wave. So all of these, in order for you to differentiate the technology and understand it, you need to know these fundamental, means the terms that will be used in order for you to understand it, how it's actually influence the environment and how it's actually influence the performance of the network. Okay, all right, so these are the key terms that we will use. So basically this part, reflection, refraction, diffraction, scattering, and observation, these are the one that related to the environment just now. All right, environment. Okay, the one that I mentioned here. Where is it, the environment? This one, this part. Okay, all right. Okay, so proceed. We'll start with number 1. Okay, so we have number 1, 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. So we'll start with number 1 first. Okay. Radio frequency fundamentals for wireless LAN. So before I proceed, maybe I check, is there any question or not? Okay, Noah, so you already got the link. Very good. Okay. wireless network, it is very important for you to understand the nature of radio frequency. In other words, you need to understand what is radio frequency. So if I ask you, hey, what is radio frequency? What is the, the features? Can you tell me, like one page about radio frequency? So you ask yourself now, is it what is actually radio frequency? And what is it the roles it plays when it comes to wireless LAN? So I believe at the end of today's session, you will understand, what to tell and what to discuss and what to write about radio frequency and how is it related to our wireless LAN. All right. So what is radio frequency? Some of you say, hey, Miss, isn't it a wave? Yeah. All right. So either, you are mention it as radio frequency, you mention it as electromagnetic wave. It is same thing. It's referring to the same context. All right. And I believe most of you just mentioned RF. Correct or not? These are quite common. This one, quite common. This one, hardly you mention it as electromagnetic wave. So what's the nature of this radio frequency, RF? It can pass through air. So when I say it can pass through air, like my situation just now I'm in different venue. Now I'm moving to different place. I still connected to the same wireless router, to the same. Even if I connect through wired also, I still connect. That one is wired. Right now, our context is wireless. So I still connect to the same wireless device, that is wireless router, wherever I move, as long as, it can move around, it can travel within the air. Means the availability of the air, the medium is there in order for us to get information. All right. So in other words, if you are in a place that, the air hardly to travel to you, let's say maybe you are inside a box, inside a small room, like a soundproof kind of room, the air, even you yourself hardly to breathe inside there. So we hardly to get those radio frequency. So that's the reason why, if you see the nature in our APU environment, we lecturer, we are not separated inside different room, right? Let's say in public university, different lecturer, different room, they cannot have this wireless infrastructure, all wired one, They want to use wireless one, for example, they need to use their own mobile. If they want to use wireless, each different lecturer room, maybe one access point, different channel. So it's hardly, right? So it will burden the management in terms of to have a very complicated infrastructure. And that's the reason why if you see APU environment is an open space. Even if you got opportunity to enter to the lecturer's room, it's an open space. Because we concern so much to be connected with wireless, even student. Correct or not? Right. And don't be surprised if you're able to conduct wireless site survey in APU. If you got opportunity, for those who stayed in APU accommodation, if you got opportunity in future to conduct wireless site survey, you might surprise, there's a lot of access point in one floor, not only in one floor if you go to certain block. Because we understand the nature of the wireless the wireless LAN is, is actually having this radio frequency to be, the electromagnetic wave to be moved around from one point to another point in order to provide wireless infrastructure. Clear? All right. Okay. Any question up to this level? Any question? All right. Noah? Okay. Next one. Okay. How this radio frequency, all right, how this radio frequency, all right, RF is actually generated. Generated means how we can get it, right? How we can get it, Of course, the high frequency, actually we have this alternating current pass over a copper cable connected to antenna. And that's the reason why you cannot eliminate wired infrastructure. Still, we can have access point Okay, we can have access point. This is access point to be connected. Yeah, to be connected to the switch. All right, and of course, these are the wireless. The electromagnetic wave will be propagates, and whatever laptop, mobile, yeah, will receive the signal. Okay. So in other words, there must be a cable connected here. Yes, we can have copper, right? Normally we use copper. Okay, even if you want to use optical fiber, also same thing, no problem. But normally we use copper. It's not worthy to use optical fiber there, yeah, because we need to have a lot of access point. All right. But when it comes to the wire, then it's different story. Optical fiber is, in the context. Okay, and this antenna, the antenna is actually where we can have antenna is available at the access point. All right. Transform the signal into radio waves. So the availability of the access point with antenna is actually having a capability to transform, to convert the signal into radio wave before it can propagate, before it can travel on air. That's why wired still need to be there. Wired connection still need to be there in order for this access point to survive, in order for this access point to work, in order to convert it into radio wave. All right. Okay. Next one. Radio wave, we can have a wide range of communication. Right? It means this radio wave, you don't think that, oh, it's only fully utilized for Wi-Fi. Only Wi-Fi 802.11. Yeah, 802.11 is only for Wi-Fi. Sorry to say, when we talk about radio waves, it's actually also available in other usage like radio, television, cordless phone. This is the one that you set Wi-Fi, right? And then we have Bluetooth, right? And the last one, satellite. So it's already showed you that, wow, it's not only our Wi-Fi. Just imagine at your home, you have walkie-talkie. Even, oh my God, I already have my home. I have a small baby at home. Now my parents just bought a baby monitored system. Oh my God, and this is actually leads to interference. That's the reason why you don't be surprised. The availability of these devices may interfere the usage of wireless LAN at your home, because the nature of radio frequency is not only used in 802.11. All right. So it's actually the range from 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz. Where is Wi-Fi? The one that you always talk, Wi-Fi, and yet it's more than that, wireless LAN. All right. So it's only in between. Am I right? In between. That's why later, if you want to know more about spectrum, you can watch the first video. Yeah, you can watch the first video link that I provided. Okay. If you realize in the useful links, there's one link about spectrum. All right, but spectrum. Please watch that YouTube link video in order for you to understand about spectrum. And what I want to conclude, it will detail up this figure in that video. All right. I want you to understand that this spectrum is about the radio waves. Only radio wave. Just imagine, radio waves is from 3 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz. 300 gigahertz. This one up to here. This is a radio spectrum. And you have to understand, I already mentioned, just now Miss already mentioned, radio may interfere with our Wi-Fi. Even whatever you can hear with your ears. It also will interfere the radio spectrum. So these are the things that will interfere. Microwave, that's why last time, if I'm not mistaken, last time in all campus, not all campus, in Apit building, we still can use microwave. But in new campus, in our APU campus, I don't know what happened to the microwave. We are no longer allowed to have it in our pantry because we want to concerned on the good wireless infrastructure and facility in APU because it might interfere. All right. And don't be surprised. Amy said only within this range. The radio spectrum. Don't be surprised. Whatever other spectrum in terms of terahertz, infrared, ultraviolet, X-ray, gamma, which involve a screening machine. You know, we have remotes controller. We have even a fiber telecom type of infrastructure. We even have the one that used by dental, you know, whatever, you know, because it's having sounds. And worst case scenario, even medical equipments, whatever lah, CTG machine, this and that, right? And that's the reason why in hospital, if any one of you admitted to the hospital before, even me myself, if I'm in hospital, I don't think so I can have a good internet connection. And even you want to have a Wi-Fi connection is only within a place that separated from those medical equipments, then you will have a better infrastructure or better, what we call it, connection. All right, because all of these devices, equipments may interfere the radio spectrum. So these are the nature, class. These are the nature. And if you look at the size of the electromagnetics that travel in the air, okay. If it's for our radio, for our Wi-Fi, for example, it can travel within football, within this size. All right. And even the size of the electromagnetic wave when it comes to this different spectrum also, it can be as small as cells, right? And that's the reason why you cannot say ignore everything. No, the present is still there, although it is a very small size. And when you say presence there, it's presence and it's small size, still it can interfere. All right. And back to the nature of these, please look back at any company site, at your home site. Actually, if you have too many furniture at your house and you expect to have a very good internet connection, very good wireless connection, sorry to say, so you cannot compare, contrast. Why at my friend's house I can get better one, and then my friends claim that using Unify, for example, 500 megabit per second. Yes, wonderful. But when I use the same service, same package at my home is different. Your house and your friend's house are two different things, two different entity, different furniture, different size. So this actually might impact as well. Clear or not, class? Any question? Any question? Right? Especially near the X-ray. Yes, you're right, Abir. You are very right. That's why hospital. Yes, at Jenny, you are right. Miss, what if we bring a small traveling modem? No. Jenny, don't worry. It's not dangerous. It's not dangerous. How I want to say, no, I don't categorize it as dangerous. But if you're thinking of it might interfere the machine, right, the machine that used in the hospital, then please don't. That's why in banking institution at their counter as well, they totally don't allow the usage of mobile phone, right? Because it might interfere, interfere some of their appliances or devices. All right, I'm throwing my Hey, Abel, you want to throw your microwave, throw to others' house that needs that microwave, okay? Don't simply throw it. Okay, not throw lah. Maybe you put it aside lah. Put at the place. Maybe your siblings, yeah, who always interfere with the Wi-Fi. Then you interfere them. All right. Yes, yeah, because yes, high medactic. Very good, Dafa. Yes, high medactic. That's what it might interfere. So that's the reason why even the pillar, I don't know. At your house, maybe at your house, some house, they're very particular with interior designer. They have this partition, even with kitchen and then living room, they want to have partition. And not only in house, we can see in company, they even have a very high partitions for their pantry, for their bar table, for example. All right. Okay, Amir, I cannot say anything. You figure out yourself how you can have a nice food at the same time you can have microwave away, yeah, to interfere your Wi-Fi connection. All right, so that's the whole idea about it. Okay, so we proceed. Next one. This is the local regulatory bodies. Yeah, in Malaysia, of course, we actually regulated. Yeah, the rules regulated by MCMC. If the full name is Malaysian Communication Commission, is very long. Yeah, that's why we always say MCMC. Yeah, MCMC. It's easy to say, but in other country they have their own. They have their own, but still, you need to understand there's a regulatory bodies available in the country because there's a control over it. Yeah, why they need to have control over it? They need to understand different frequency to be assigned to different devices, and if happen to be you invade certain devices that might actually interfere with certain frequency, it need to be reported. It need to be reported by the persons, the bodies that actually govern the policies, because for example, I give you a simple situation. When we talk about military, and even when you talk about satellite communication, and what else, when you talk about radio communication over to broadcast or to monitor the air traffic, there must be a certain frequency need to be controlled, need to be monitored, because of course when we talk about what we call this, there's a term about it being interfered by other signals. Normally we just want to get a correct information, but because of certain interference by other signals, it might affect the quality of the information that to be distributed to certain devices, and that's the reason why it may leads to issues or problems in getting the right information or correct information. So that's why we must have regulatory bodies in place, and that's the reason why I would like to tell. I would like to share with you. Sorry, I hardly to find the correct information. Any one of you heard about? Anyone? TV white space. Anyone? If for Malaysian students, I don't feel guilty if you never heard about TV white space. Yeah, you're right, Abir. When we talk about airplane, yes. You ever heard of TV white space class? Anyone? Okay, if you just Google it, no issue. But I just want to know, did you ever heard about it before you Google it? Anyone? I just want to know, maybe anyone. Anyone that actually used to be in Singapore, stay in Singapore? No, Jinjiang, you never heard? All right. Okay, then it's understandable. No problem. I just love to see many of you never heard about it. I just love to see. Why? It's a good thing for you to find out. All right? It's a good thing for you to. Yes, very good, Dafa. Is unused broadcasting frequency. Very good. I give you an example, simple example. All right, Dafa already gave us some explanation, very brief explanation there, a keyword. But I just want to tell you one situation. In Malaysia, we don't have this TV white space. But we have many conference, we have many discussion related to TV white space involving Telekom Malaysia, involving other telecommunication provider, all right? And it's actually become competitors to them, all right? But then in certain country like Canada, right? Normally, for me, myself, if I want to find out about TV white space, I hardly to find any vendor or provider or even someone can talk about it in Malaysia. But I actually need to communicate someone in Canada, and even the nearest to us is Singapore. Yeah, even in Philippines also, they are making use of this TV white space. All right. If you want to find out, yes, you want to find out. But then for your final year project, sorry to say, we cannot implement this. Yeah, we cannot implement this because there's too many issues in terms of regulation, especially when it comes to Malaysia. Right. The whole idea is free. It's free. That's why. It's free. I give you an example like in TV channel. We have channel, for example, Astro, I don't know. For example, in Malaysia, we have TV1, TV2, TV3, and whatever TV is it, and TV7, etc. So there's a certain channel is not being used. So if there's a certain channel is not being used, this frequency is not being used can be allocated for internet usage, for network usage. So that's the wonderful part of it, and it's for free. All right, I give you a simple example. In Philippines, why they make use this TV white space during when they use it, it's not for commercial reasons because it's free. They use it during what we call it during disaster, natural disaster. All right, so they want to have an immediate network to be connected. All right, that's why they make use this TV white space. What we call it TV white space technology in order to support the hospital equipment as well as the communication that will be used within the area that being affected by disaster. Clear? All right. In Singapore, they use it in a certain housing area. For example, in apartment, in condominium, or in flat, what we call it apartment, where actually only for taking what we call it only for reading the meter for electricity, for the water bill, only for reading the meter. Why? Because they want to make use a radio wave frequency in order to read and transfer it to the server, so that it immediately to be updated for billing purposes. All right. So please, if you want to know more about this TV white space, let me just type in the meeting chat TV white space. Actually, at first, I also not really sure about what is TV white space, but when I've been introduced by one of the Singapore guys in the conference, I can't recall his name. Yeah, but then I start to find out about it. But then I'm even having critics by my colleagues, all right, because when we talk about critics, because this thing we cannot see future in Malaysia. Agreed. Like myself, I'm not looking at future. I'm looking at, I just want to know. I just want to find out. Am I right? So for those who want to find out, those who want to know about this technology, please go ahead. But I'm not going to ask in exam. I'm not going to ask in assignment. And please don't recommend it in your assignment, because it's just for understanding purposes, for you to open up your eyes, and understand that there's other technology out there. It's just that because of certain regulation, we can't have it in our country. All right. Okay. So why I'm telling you these are the things, because certain country, they have regulatories, and because of these regulators, organization that regulates all the things, they are the one who actually will allow certain technology to be in place, etc. Right? Okay. Any question before we proceed? All right. Do China, Xinjiang, I'm not really sure. What you can do, please research Xinjiang. But if they have, maybe just like Singapore, they have it only for certain application. Certain application like for meter reading, for certain. For certain. Yes, you can Baidu. What is it? All right. So just research. They might actually not having it at a very large scale. All right. Okay. My concern is better for you to research if you're really interested to find out. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next one. Frequency used for wireless LAN. All right. I'm pretty sure you already understand what are the frequency used. As I mentioned, it's 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, right? 5 gigahertz, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. When we talk about wireless, it's 802.11, all right? And they have these 3 bands, that is lower band, 2 and 2E. But whatever it is, yeah, we always referring to either 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. And for your information, 2.4, I don't know, my students always said, Miss, I don't use 2.4 anymore, I use 5. Very good. Yes, it's true, we go for the highest frequency for a better performance. And everyone agreed on that. But then, 2.4, I'm still using it. Why? It depends on the venue, right? If the wireless router, right, is here, okay, and you just somewhere here, no issue for you to use 5 gigahertz, right? But then this one, let's say this is your living room, all right, living room, and then maybe you want to go upstairs, staircase, and then there's a pillar, and then another staircase. You know, right? Some house, have to go here and then go that side, and then they reach another venue here, right? So if you are the user here, don't use 5 gigahertz, should use 2.4, because there's a barrier in between of you and this one, the wireless router. Why? Because this one, 2.4, can travel further, compared to 5 gigahertz. 5 gigahertz strong enough if it's within the short distance. Okay, if you want to go further, then you go 2.4, right? Okay, understand, huh? Any question before we move on? Right. I hope you don't mind if I simply scribbles like this. This, to be honest, I want to scribble on whiteboard, but it's really, you need to take whiteboard, etc. Go here and there. I don't like to move here and there while I'm teaching. All right, but if in class it's different things, yeah, because it's involved your own, right? But if using minimize, maximize, I don't think so it's comfortable for students to look at it. All right, that's why I like to scribble on the top of this. That's why I convert into PDF. All right, next one, coverage and capacity. Any questions at the meantime? All right, thank you. Yes, stronger penetration. When you said the word penetration, yeah, Jinjiang, not everyone understands the penetration. Why we have it stronger penetration? Because it can travel further compared to a 5 gigahertz. Disaster occurs, use white space to tweet. Yes, right. Yes, free internet life. Yeah, very good, Abir. Okay, proceed. Okay, coverage and capacity. Right. For this part, I really need you to understand the difference between coverage and capacity. Okay, I'm pretty sure in English vocabulary itself, you already can see the difference between what is coverage and also capacity. Just that not everyone want to accept that it having differences. Yeah, some of us accept that who cares, coverage and capacity same thing, we can relate with each other, correct? But then you have to understand coverage and capacity are 2 different factors. Very important when you want to consider designing and implementing wireless LAN. I give you one situation. Like I said just now, you are in your friend's house using UniFi 500 megabit per second. You already experience a wonderful performance through your mobile, through your laptop, all right? But then when you recommend that package 500 megabits of UniFi to your family members, to your parents, yeah, you also go for it, but you realize that the performance is not as good or what you experience at your friend's house, yeah, and happen to be you find out, oh, no wonder me myself, I'm having 6 siblings, including my parents, already 8 of us at this house, and your friends is only the only son, for example, plus 2 parents, plus father and mother, 3 of them. That's one thing. Capacity, number of user, right? And I need you to understand when we talk about capacity as well, you don't think only about number of users, but think about the usage. Like 6 of you, 6 siblings. Some of you, what is it? The term PUBG, the online game, PUBG, and then even, oh my God, your younger brother even always go on YouTube, watch, streaming, right? That's the thing. And even, oh my God, my father is an engineer using AutoCAD a lot. Oh my God. So it might actually impact the capacity in terms of the usage, number of users, impact the performance. But when it comes to your friend's house just now, it's only your friends is using it a lot. Because the parents is actually not really likes to use network because they are actually all school. They're more on watching televisions, for example. And that's the reason why the performance is different. So same thing, when it comes to different organization, we cannot expect it's all the way the same. At our APU itself, oh my God, right? You have to see your environment. That's why you may realize that early morning, the performance is very good. That's why some students, when they start back to campus, they will always find certain good pot at our campus in order to get a better performance. Yes, it might impact, All right, next one. Okay. So that's the reason why as well designs is really matters. Design. How, is it you have enough switches, and then your switch is also enough port and enough AP also, access points is also very important. All right. And I believe once you go through this chapter, then you realize, oh, why APU, our campus, the new campus is really open space. And some of us might wonder, why is it we want to have this kind of campus if it's raining? Wow, the cleaner and start to mop the floor. They don't get, if we have a closed kind of campus, isn't it? It's easier for the cleaner. We don't care that. Our cleaner will mop the floor no matter what, if it's after raining, because we concern more to have a better wireless infrastructure. That's why the design is such way. All right. Understand now why our APU being designed in such way, right? Like I think you realize, right? Some university like MSU, right? The open space is inside the building, right? It's covered. You can see the design. Some building, they are very all designed. It's actually they need to consider to have an open space in order to get better wireless infrastructure. All right, next one. Coverage and capacity. I think I already talked a lot just now. So coverage, in terms of capacity, I already talked a lot just now. Now we look at coverage. All right. So the word coverage also you need to understand. For example, if you buy a gallon of paint, let's say next time, during a certain festival, you start to paint, or you want to paint your room, for example. Depends on usage, right? For example, some of you may use 1 gallon to cover up 300 square feet, right? Okay, but some of you want to go more, 900 square feet, but of course the thickness of the paint, this one may be thicker, this one maybe just thick, not that thick enough, it's just tint, right? So it's the same concept. The coverage of the wireless, it depends also, it actually affects with the usage, how much you use it. All right, even you are as close to the router, but if your usage is a very heavy usage, right, it might actually not allow those signals be propagates to other places, because you are the one is already the core user, for example. Okay, and this concept, right, we have to understand. There's no simple rule to determine how much space. No simple rule, but you can understand the nature. You can understand the nature. It's all about dealing with the radio frequency energy. How much energy can travel, it depends on the usage. And the area also, when we talk about area, you have to relate with barriers. Pillars, pillars. In Malay language, we call it tiang. And then tembok, pillars. You know, even you want to have a, you know, your house, is it really having an open space? That's why this coverage, size of area, how big is the area, how big is your house, how big is the company. That's why APU we have a lot of access point because it's not small. Number of users, application like I mentioned just now, some of you might use AutoCAD. If you're just using email, that is okay. But if you use a lot of streaming application, that might impact as well the coverage. Because you already close to it, you already use a lot of streaming in AutoCAD, so it might impact the others that actually far away from the router, right? And of course, obstacles, population, and range. Yeah, this one we talk about 2.4 and 5 because it have its own nature. And this one, wireless LAN hardware and output power, depends on when you buy certain device, you need to see the power outage normally at the back of the device or at the boxes. All right, so we go through one by one. Size of the area, as I mentioned just now. All right, how far it can cover. All right, that's why it's very important site survey. And for your assignment, which I'm going to brief you this Friday, if you ask me, Miss, I don't want to do site survey, Miss. If you don't want to do site survey, how we want to know the wireless coverage at your home, the wireless coverage at your site, right? Because that's the tools that you need to use in order to know amount of area covered. You might be surprised. Oh my God! After I conduct site survey, even my neighbor house also can receive. How you know? Because I go to my neighbor house, I can always conduct site survey there as well. For example, okay. And then number of user. You want to know. You try to conduct a site survey. If 5 users use at the same time compared to only you use it, it will be different. All right. And then application use, as I mentioned, you can see if everyone start using YouTube, if everyone start having a PDPR, in Malaysia we call it PDPR, or we call it online classes, then you can see the coverage, how much it can go. If it's only you, maybe all green. But if everyone start use, then you start color faded. You know, the green coverage from the site survey tools is no longer green, become orange or red, for example. Okay, this one is the application that I mentioned just now, AutoCAD, may affect the performance or the coverage area, sorry. And then obstacle propagation, this one I did mention just now, if 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, right? That one is range, RF range, but now my concern is this one, obstacles. Obstacle depends on your housing area, depends on your company site, walls. Some of it mixed from bricks, some of it is concrete, some of it is glass, right? And etc. Actually, you can research, class. You can research, if you want to find out what kind of materials, is good in order to ensure the signals, radio frequency signals, to propagate far, or to propagate within the housing area. You might be surprised which of this material is good. And even they suggest others. Okay, that one reserved for your assignment. I don't want to talk so much because I need you to research as well. And even you need to see the thickness. Too many doors, so it's not good, you know. All right, as I said just now, partition. Nowadays, partition a lot, right? Not only partition, furnishing. Oh my God, you can see in the living room itself. Oh my God. Your television also, your smart TV is already as big as your wall size. Okay, all right. And then this one is the radio frequency that I said just now. This one already been discussed, so we proceed. And then last but not least, is in terms of hardware, wireless LAN hardware and output power. This one is very, very important in the recommendation, or we call it a suggestion, right? And or wireless LAN deployment part. Because in your assignment, you're going to deploy. When I said deploy, means not implement for real. I don't expect, because some students already worried, oh my God, our assignment got wireless LAN deployment, and some of you start to buy switch lah, buy router lah, buy this and that in order to get a good infrastructure. No, 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 please don't. Please don't. This one is just only recommendation, suggestion. So I don't expect you to conduct site survey after recommendation, after improvement. No, site survey only before recommendation, means the current one, the current site, you need to do site survey. So after you realize there's a weaknesses, then you recommend, you just need to come up with a better network design. That's it. Better network design in terms of what? In terms of what kind of hardware and software you want to recommend. And normally you will change, you will set, not change lah, you will recommend, I recommend this type of switch, I recommend this type of router. Why you recommend? Because when I research, I'm concerned more on antenna type, antenna orientation, and gain. This one, I'm not sure how many of you want to research, you know. Actually, it's very important for you to research what kind of antenna used by your wireless router. The one normally provided by Unify whatsoever. If you look at their box, the boxes, normally nothing much. Or if you look at the back of the, you know, they have a dB, decibel. How much it gain? If it gains, if you contrast two different devices, if it can gain more, means it's better one. Of course, we want the one that gain more, right? For example, if you teach your brother and your sister, you teach ABC, your brother only can understand A, your sister can understand ABC. Of course, you will look at, you know, which one, you know, you will have this kind of perceptions. Oh, my sister can gain more, can learn more, right? Because can understand ABC, but my brother only can understand A, for example. So same thing, if you have two different devices, you need to look at the measurement of the dB, decibel, how much it can gain. And also the type of antenna, the type of antenna, and these two are related to each other. Some antenna, they have certain name, and it's actually due to different orientation, either it's vertical, another one is horizontal, and the last one is omnidirectional. So you can research which one better, vertical, horizontal, or omnidirectional. But I'm giving you a keyword, omnidirectional is the better one. You know, right? Some of the antenna actually can have all of this. I think those who are Unify user, you can realize or not, you can play around with the antenna, right? You can make it vertical and then you can just move it to horizontal. That is omnidirectional. Okay? All right. And also, this is what I said just now. Orientation is the polarization. Either it's vertical, but of course, if it can do both, that's what we call as omnidirectional. Because there are some students said to me, Miss, no such thing of omnidirectional. It can just do horizontal, vertical, both. That is omnidirectional. All right? All right. Why is it antenna is important? In terms of gaining the signal. What is it? What is it you share, Zeng Hong? Hold on, let me take a look. but it's a joke, so it's related to what we learn, Zeng Hong. Okay, yeah, they can see a decibel there. All right, okay, never mind. Okay, so proceed. Next one. So wireless, the output power. These are the things that I mentioned just now. The higher output power means more power. The greater, yes, of course. Even human being, morning time I'm having more power compared to class in the evening. So you can see my voice. My voice is better during morning time, right, compared afternoon time. All right. So same thing when we talk about the devices. So that's the reason why before you want to buy a certain product, make sure concern more on the power. It's just that, I don't know, most of us, we just go more on popularity or the trend. Actually can. Or some of us, we are concerned more on the cost. Can, no problem. But again, there's no win-win situation, right? You want to win over the cost, maybe you lose some over the of course you have better features, but you need to spend more money. Am I right? Okay. But the most important thing is to understand the nature of your site. Nature of your site. If your site is having too many barriers, then you need to get certain good devices in place. All right. So coverage and capacity. Okay. So class, I think I stop until this last slide because it's almost time. All right. Okay, just an elevator. This one is we talked about capacity. So done about coverage just now. Now capacity. Right. Same thing like restaurant. More number of people. Of course. If limited number, of course it's comfortable. You have a better capacity. Right. So again, even our broadband nature. If more people within the housing area, of course, although you are using fiber optic, etc., they guaranteed this. Even your house can use up to 5 users when it comes to 300 megabit per second. Another user's use, it might actually limited usage. All right. And of course, also you need to use number of user and also another thing, software application. If everyone just use email, no problem. If everyone start to do online classes, then it might be affected in terms of capacity. All right, class, don't worry so much. We still got time in future. So I stop until coverage. We will cover these two. Yeah, these two maybe next week. Depends because this Friday I'm going to do our assignment introduction. But don't worry so much. Yeah, don't worry so much. We only have 10 chapters. We're still on time. We're still on time. All right. Okay, let me just check the attendance first. Any question, just please ask. All right. And once I introduce your assignment this Friday, maybe we can relate more. Okay. What is that? Okay. All right, done. So I shared the attendance. All right. Oh, the antenna. Okay. Okay, we should buy a lot. Hey, no lah. Who asked no, Jinjiang? No need, Jinjiang. I said only recommendation. No, don't get me wrong. No lah, no. I just said just now, some student might misinterpret. No. Router, repeater, switch added to the... Hey, don't lah, don't. Hey, you all. Hey, I'm not saying to buy products. No, I'm saying for recommendation. Recommend only, not implement for real. You all. But then some students I know they afford, so I cannot restrict them as well. Okay, so done. Let me just take attendance because it's almost time. Later on we can't take attendance. No, class, no. Oh, I need to remind all of you during our class time. Later on some students start to buy. What my intention is, make sure your current network, your current site. Your current site at your home which supporting you to do work from home, which supporting you for do online classes. I want you to conduct site survey on the current one, not the new one. The current one that you are currently using. That's the most important one. All right? But for those who stay in APU accommodation, maybe you can conduct site survey in APU, no problem. Only APU accommodation, no problem. You can do that. All right? But that one I will reserve to discuss it during our assignment time. That is this Friday when I start to introduce you. Okay, class, another 7 minutes to go. Please take attendance. It's very good number, OTP 008. Yeah, all right. Okay, so supposed to be, we should have total numbers of students is 54, okay. Okay. Any questions? Please remind me that we stop until that one, until the capacity. Hello, Miss. What is this? You can do that if you, okay. Hello, Miss, there is a problem. Oh, okay, Lee Bowen, okay, yes. I will update. If you ask me to update, and then still I'm not updating it, please remind me, class. Sometimes, yeah, as usual, already, already. Yeah, everything in my mind. Sometimes I forgot. Please remind me. Okay, Lee Bowen. Okay, noted. So Ma Li Fong. Wait, I need to take pencil first. Ma Li Wong. Ma Li Fong and Lee Bowen. All right. Okay. So please update me. I'm just worried some students scared to remind me. You know, don't lah. Later Miss get angry or what? Angry? No. I'm appreciate if you remind me. All right. Okay, class. So this about
Can you
yes.
read my attendance?
What's your name? Hold on. Who is it now?
My name is Dustin Nurlan.
Sorry. What's your name? I can't hear. Sorry. Oh, at least you use the raise hand features. Raise hand features. Who is it? Communicate with me just now. Use raise hand.
Dustin Nurlan.
Dustin. Okay, Dustin. All right, Dustin. I will update the attendance for you, Dustin. All right. So Dustin, Ma Li Fong, and Lee Bowen, 3 of you. Okay. But if I did not update it and you realize, hey, this lecturer forgot, remind me again in the Microsoft Team personal chat. Personal chat, yeah? All right. But currently I got 3 names. But I only can update after 12:45. All right? Okay, thank you very much, class. Have a great time. See you again this Friday. Take care and be safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.